Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's gameplay commentary. As you can see, I've got some more Uncharted 4 multiplayer footage to enjoy, and it's going to be a bounty hunter match on the map River. And I do play on this map quite a lot. I do enjoy this map and I do fairly well, and obviously today's gameplay is no exception, otherwise I wouldn't have posted it to the channel, of course. Basically, I didn't record the start of the video, I'm not too sure why, but I do flash the loadout there on the screen. I start off with a P90 and then I decided to change my mind. Can't tell you why. This gameplay is very old now, as is a lot of my other gameplay, but as I said, good, otherwise I would not have posted it to the channel. Right, so I have decided to break with the E3 reviews this week because there are several things going on, and if I'm honest with you, I haven't actually watched any more E3 footage since a couple of weeks back because, of course, the World Cup is in full flow, and England, can you believe it, have made it through to the second round and actually made it further than the second round. We are now about to play, well, by the time this video goes up, England will be playing in a few very short hours. Unfortunately, I will be at work, which sucks major ass, but hopefully that means the store will be very quiet, because if you're not watching the England game when they get to the quarterfinals, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Obviously, if you don't live in the UK, you know, you're not English or whatever, then it's fine. But if you're in the UK and you live in England, then I genuinely don't see what else you could be doing apart from watching the match. A quarterfinal. I mean, I'm not that old, I'm not that young either, but I can't genuinely remember the last time we made it through to a decent stage of a tournament. Past decade or so, it's been like we haven't managed to get out of the groups. We've gone to the second round and just get knocked out straight away. It's bad. It's really painful to watch as an England fan, as an England supporter. And as I said a couple of weeks ago now, I can't remember which video it was in, but the fact that I was happy to just make it out of the group stages, that's my expectation for this tournament. The fact that we went through to the second round and won the second round is fantastic. It's a great feeling, and the fact that we're now in a quarterfinals, and okay, Sweden aren't the best team in the world, but they can defend quite well. They've lost a bit of attacking power in that some of their players have retired and stuff like that, but in terms of a team, they shouldn't be underestimated. And while the nation is getting stupidly carried away, the manager and obviously the players are fairly, tempered in their expectations. But I think as a nation, we sort of subconsciously expect them to deliver. Like, Sweden are a good team, but they shouldn't be on par with England. And in terms of the individual skills, we have a slight edge in terms of attacking. Now, I should just clarify that I am no expert on football by any stretch of the imagination. I literally only watch the big tournaments when they come around. The Euros, the World Cup, maybe the Champions League final, that sort of thing. But in terms of on a weekly basis, like the Premier League and stuff, I don't really follow football on a weekly basis. So I'm not an expert, but I do really enjoy the big World Cup tournaments and obviously the Euros and things like that. And it's kind of funny, but like this year, Wimbledon's on at exactly the same time as the World Cup. And I have no interest in Wimbledon this year at all. Obviously, there's a few British people in there who have dropped out, Andy Murray being one of them. And some of the others have been so-so in their performance over the past year. But because there's another tournament on, obviously the World Cup, that's what I'm focused on. I sort of only have time for one like major tournament every year. Wimbledon I watch obviously when there's nothing else on, but when the Olympics are on, obviously I watch that. Winter Olympics earlier this year was really cool. Summer Olympics obviously takes up a lot of my time as well. But Wimbledon is sort of that thing that always comes around if there's nothing else on. So there's no Euro, there's no Olympics, no nothing, then I'll watch Wimbledon. I'll really get into it. But this year it's all about the football, and I'm not really following the Wimbledon whatsoever. And it's just kind of funny that there's only 2 weeks of the, Wimbledon's only 2 weeks long, right? And they couldn't reschedule it to not be at the same time as the World Cup. It was like, come on, it doesn't really make any sense. It's only a couple of weeks. Push it back or something, or bring it forward. But we have some glorious weather, and I guess the Wimbledon fans are enjoying it because tennis gets to be played out in the open, and there's no rain interruptions as there usually is. Right. So just to go back to the point I was talking about earlier. Do I think England are going to make it through to the semi-finals? I mean, obviously, I really hope they do, and I'll be supporting them. Even if I am busy with customers, I'm going to be watching that game for damn sure. I don't know, it's a tough one. Obviously, a part of me thinks they should win because of the reasons I said earlier. We do have a slight edge in terms of attacking, and I think overall we are the better team. But this World Cup has been all sorts of crazy. We've seen so many big teams going home. Brazil went home earlier. France beat Uruguay, and France are looking pretty decent. I mean, they've been warming up ever since the start of the tournament. They just seem to be getting better and better every single time. And Argentina have gone home. Portugal have gone home. Germany went home. They didn't even qualify for the second stage, which is the first time they've never done that in like 50 years or something stupid. So it's been a crazy World Cup. It's been really fun to watch. Some really good performances. the France-Argentina game was just absolutely insane. Like I enjoyed that match so much, and so many people were saying it's one of the best football matches they've ever seen. And I said I don't watch a lot of football, but I thought it was a fantastic game, and I couldn't start watching that. And then even when they replayed it on the night, because the BBC, they always replay the matches again in the evening, like early mornings, just in case you missed it or whatever. And I just found myself just sitting there, just watching it, like most of it all over again. Well, the second half was just fantastic, so I just watched most of that all over again. There's something else I also really like about this tournament in terms of the World Cup, the England team. I think the manager, who's brand new to, not brand new, since he's been managing the team for a little bit now, but Gareth Southgate, I think he's been doing an absolutely fantastic job. I really like the guy. There's just something about him. He's really cool, calm, collected. He's got a good dress sense, right? He wears like a nice waistcoat when he's on the pitch. He's really relaxed when he's talking to like, the media and stuff. He doesn't hype them up like, oh yeah, we're gonna win it, this, that, and the other. And he's really down to earth, and I get the sense he's sort of underselling, but he's got the potential, and obviously the team's got potential to over deliver. So I really like that. That's the sort of person I am. Like I always play low key, and then I'll just deliver, like smash it out of the park. That's what I like to do, and I think that's what he's trying to set the standard for his team. It's hard to explain if you're not an England fan, because like if you live in Germany, if you live in one of the other football successful nations, you take it for granted, making it through to the next round, making it through to the quarterfinals, maybe even semi-finals. And I think, well, I mean, I said Germany this year didn't make it through at all, so they sort of get a taste of what it's like to be an England fan for once, not to make it past the group stages. But I mean, they won it quite recently, like a few years back, so the wait for them is not that long, whereas England, we haven't won it since '66. I wasn't born then, so I have no idea what it's like to win the World Cup. But some of these nations have won quite recently, within living memory, put it that way. And it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are saying that we can do it this year. We've got a good draw. We've got a pretty straightforward path towards the semi-finals. And then, of course, if we win the semis, then we get through to the finals. But I just think one step at a time. I do think we are going to beat Sweden later on today. I truly hope so. Any further than that, I really couldn't say. A lot of my friends, obviously, buying into the hype now, saying we're going to go all the way. I don't know. I'm happy. Obviously, we've made it to the quarters. I'd be even happier if we made it past the quarterfinals. I'd be over the moon if we made it past the semis, and just if we even made it to the finals at all, it would just be words cannot describe as an England fan how cool that would be. The other thing as well is that, and I think that I don't really like, is that people are saying, oh, this is our best chance for however many years because of the draw and all the rest of it. And I remember people saying this a few years back when it came to like David Beckham and that almost about to retire, and saying, oh, this is our golden generation, and if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it again for another few years. Well, to be fair, that was over a decade ago, so fair enough. Maybe it's been that long since we've had a proper chance at a title. But I think it's unfair to say those sort of things. Like, you never know what might happen in the next tournament. Like, I'm for damn sure I bet Germany didn't think they were going home in the group stages this time round. And some of the other countries didn't qualify as well, and that's another reason why people are saying it's our best chance. Like countries like Italy, Netherlands, they didn't qualify, which is unheard of in big tournaments like this. But these things could happen again in the future. You never know. And I do think it's really unfair to put extra pressure on the England team. I don't know if they're paying attention to this media coverage. Well, they probably are. It's unavoidable. But I do think it's a little bit like, if I was in that situation, it would make me feel a bit. I mean, obviously you'd want to step up and deliver, but it would add unnecessary pressure to you. And I think that's where having a manager like Gareth Southgate is really good, because he's trying to, as I said, like, not lower the expectation, but like not just overhype us, and just say, look, we haven't done X, Y, Z for so many years. What makes you think we're going to go on to the final and semi-final straight away just because we've had a few decent matches in the tournament, And so, yeah, I think it's exciting, but we'll see. Hopefully, the next video I talk about will be England reaching the semi-finals. But yeah, I don't think they'll be watching this video, obviously the manager or the players, but just by some miracle they are. Good luck, hope you do well, I'm rooting for you. Right, so there's not too much left of this gameplay to go. As you can see, we're winning pretty decisively, and I'm putting in a pretty decent shift for my team. Getting quite a few downs and a couple of pretty nice kills from what I've seen so far. Anyway, so just a few minor topics then to round off the video. A couple of weeks back I did talk about how my parents, well my dad specifically, is currently in the process of building a patio for the back garden of my old house, their house. And it's practically done now, and it is looking pretty decent. I might share a picture in the future video, but I'm impressed with my dad. Pat on the back for him. He's done a really good job for someone who doesn't do this by trade at all. And again, as I think I mentioned in a previous video, I've been helping, well, I did help to shift the bricks from the front of the house where they were delivered to the back garden where he's obviously building the patio. One of the evenings I was over there shifting bricks, I basically smashed my knee into the pallet of bricks, and obviously I came off worse because the pallet of bricks was completely unfazed, and I got a really big bruise on my knee. The very next day, I went into work with said bruised knee, and it was kind of painful to walk. Not massively painful to walk, but obviously every time I moved my knee, it kind of hurt a little bit. I was in the canteen, sat down to eat my lunch, and I managed to smash the exact same spot on a low coffee table, and it hurt something stupid. So I had a massive bruise anyway, and then I smashed that massive bruise, and it just turned a nasty ass colour. Like, I can't even describe it. It's just a nasty ass colour. Fortunately, there's no long-term damage to my knee. It's just bruised, a little bit sore. It is on the mend, but it's just, yeah, like, it was so painful. Anyway, that's probably all the time I got for in today's video. I'm still playing quite a lot of Fortnite. There's been various updates out. I'm continuing to post videos to the channel, and yesterday me and Rudy did partake in our second ever amateur tournament for Fortnite. I will talk about the result today. I will talk about it in a future Fortnite video, but once again, it was another pretty interesting experience, and I'll go into more detail in a future video, as I said. Unfortunately, I haven't really picked up on any of my streaming of the Uncharted games of late, mainly because of the World Cup. I've been watching so many matches, and obviously just playing so much more Fortnite, trying to get better for these tournaments. I haven't had much time for anything else, including playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, which I started a while back now, and I haven't really picked up again since. So I do apologise to my friend who I'm supposed to be playing that with, but I really need to get more organised. That's probably the worst thing. But obviously the World Cup's on, that takes up a lot of my time, and I'm playing a lot of Fortnite, which I could cut back on, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. But once I get bored of it, when the next big game comes out, whatever, Call of Duty, what have you, then I'll probably move on then. But yeah, these things are all still floating around in my mind. They're on my to-do list. I just need to get down to doing them, and then hopefully share them with you guys and girls on the channel, or whether it's streaming live from Twitch. Okay, so that'll do it for today's video. As per usual, if you enjoyed the content, consider tapping the like button. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you've got thoughts, or share me regarding anything I've talked about today, or anything you've seen in the gameplay, do let me know in the comment section below. If you're watching this video before the England game, what do you think the result's going to be? How do you think they're going to fare? If you're watching it after the England game, how did you think England performed? And do you think the result was justified? Alright then, so until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.
Some gear.
That was great. God, I love writing stories with happy endings.
And now it's hard to breathe.